Warning. Warning. This is not a test. This is not a test.
Drop it.
Hello everyone and welcome to round 6 of Race for a Ride here at the virtual Los Angeles Coliseum. Tonight, 15 of the best young drivers on iRacing continue their quest to achieve a chance in a real ride at Atlanta Motor Speedway next spring. We are presented tonight by Speed U and Freight Racing. I am your host, Jeremy Miller. DJ Lion is behind the buttons tonight, producing and giving you all the awesome looks at tonight's action. As we'll be taking you through 2 heats this evening and a main feature race. The heats will be 15 laps with 6 advancing to the features out of each one and a 40-lap main. As you can see with the schedule here on your screen, tonight's race at the Coliseum will be followed by 2 more races at Charlotte and Atlanta in the regular season, where we move on to the playoffs, where we'll have 4 races with different cars at different tracks at South Boston, Charlotte, Lanier, and Hickory back in the Legends car. The LA Coliseum was a specially built track for the NASCAR Clash. It's a quarter-mile in length, it's nearly flat, and it opened in 2022. It has not seen action since the Clash there a couple years ago, but we will see a great race here tonight with these Legends cars, and they're sure to put on an awesome show. Our standings after the first 5 events see Chase Pierce leading Travis Kremborg by 5 points and Billy Snodgrass by 6. After that, we see a bit of a fall off to Sean Hillquicks in 4th and Carson Sherman in 5th. Alex Smith, Everett Larson, AJ Nichols, Chandler Gallman, and Bentley Thompson round out the top 10 in our point standings. Tonight's race, as I mentioned before, will be a 40-lap feature. All the drivers who are here tonight will make our feature, and we will have 3 green-white checkered attempts. There are no faster pairs, and these drivers will be utilizing the fixed iRacing setup. qualifying rounds out here, we will be getting ready to set the grid for the first heat of the evening, which actually does look to be our only heat based on the driver count we have here. So we'll have one heat to set the grid for tonight's main feature, and we'll take you through that starting grid for heat 1. To get a look here at the track, we'll take a look at the grid. Starting on the pole for this heat is Chase Pierce. Joining him on the outside of the front row is Billy Snodgrass. Starting in the third position tonight will be Chandler Gallman, and joining him to his outside is the 97 Axel Smith. The fifth qualifier of this evening is Everett Larson, and in sixth is Cameron Ledoux. AJ Nichols qualifies in seventh. On his outside is Travis Kremborg in the 5. Tonight's ninth place starters Evan Johnson in the 66, and the 42 of Aiden Slayton rounds out the top 10. Aiden Weaver will qualify in 11th in the 101, and Carson Sherman starts P12. Our final full row of cars sees Lucas Hayes in 13th and Cam Mallett in 14th, and rounding out tonight's grid is Sean Hilkowicz in the 48. These drivers are currently gridding. We'll be getting ready to start this heat race. We're going to have 15 laps here. All the drivers from this race will advance to the feature, and we'll take a look at tonight's weather conditions. We have a 70-degree air condition with 97-degree track. We have a bit of an overcast with some winds coming in from the northwest. That should lead for some pretty exciting racing here. So we got to look at Barney here, looking over the field, waiting for all these drivers to grid. We'll get that pace car rolling, and we'll get this show underway. Has been displayed. His car is going to start rolling here, and we should have 2 pace laps before these guys get going. We're on board here with Axel Smith in the 97, our P4 qualifier. We'll see a lot of these guys already heating up their tires, swerving. With such a short race, it's very important to get your tires up to temperature as quickly as possible here. There's not a lot of time to really let your tires settle in. It's going to be a very quick sprint. They're going to be pushing as hard as they can with these cars. To the lens, we get a closer look at Axel here, and you can see him really working that wheel back and forth, trying to work some heat into the fronts and the rears here. And the pace car takes the 1 to green. The lights are turned off. It'll pull off this time by, and we'll get ready for a 15-lap sprint to set the grid for the 40-lap shootout coming out after. There it is, our pace car is down and away, and green flag is in the air. And we are underway here at the Coliseum as Billy Snodgrass gets a great run on the outside line. He'll stay side by side with Chase Pierce in the turn 1. Still working side by side down the back straightaway. Pierce starting the edge ahead. Snodgrass, not much he can do up there in the second line, and that's going to pull Gallman through to second. We do have one spinning off in the back, but we do stay green. As Gallman clears for second, Snodgrass now tries to hold off Axel Smith in the 97. Snodgrass just really stuck on that outside line, not working for him here as Smith is going to look to clear. He gets a little bit of a bump from Travis Kremborg, sends him up the track into Snodgrass. Snodgrass is around with a huge hit after the fact. See some debris flying off those cars. That will be our first caution of the evening, and we'll get a look at what happened here under replay. Here's our 92-22 Designs replays. You see Snodgrass on the outside of Smith battling for position. Kremborg gets close to Axel Smith there, and then coming down into this corner here, the 5 just gets into the back of the 97, which sends the 98 around. And he got a big shot there from Carson Sherman after the fact as well. With 99 of Snodgrass here, I mean, that's some major contact for him. Fortunately, though, this is just the heat race, so he'll be able to has some time left even in this race to make up for his starting position in tonight's feature, and he'll get a fresh car and a clean shot at the feature after the fact. So it's just, he was stuck up there on the outside and just kind of got caught up in something that really had nothing to do with him from underneath of him. You see the field here finally behind our pace car, lights still on that car as we look from Chandler Gallman's 81 machine. It's just such a cool thing here, seeing a fully surrounded racetrack filled with fans and the grandstands of the Coliseum. And the only place that we really get anything like this is Bristol other than here, so it's always nice to see something like this. As pace car should take one to green here, and we'll see the lights turn off and we'll get ready for another restart. See some more drivers warming up their tires here as they get ready for this restart. Coming down into turn 3, the pace car will pull a little bit away from the field here as it pulls into pit road. We have Chase Pierce and Chandler Gallman on the front row. Pace car is in and green flag is in the air. A little bit of an issue for Pierce on the inside there as Gallman almost got clear for a moment and then had a bit of a slip up for himself in the corner up. Puts Kremberg through to his inside as Travis Kremberg looks for second on the inside of him. Kremberg cleared a second. Him and Pierce are pulling away from the field as Smith is, and we have a caution back in the back of the field again here. That's the 66 of Evan Johnson who went around. Doesn't look like he hit anything too much here, so should be mostly okay. It looks like we see here on the 92-22 Designs replay of a 66 working the very inside of the racetrack over those rumble strips. Comes back down into this corner, does it again, and gets a little bit upset on exit, loops it around, doesn't hit anything, and he'll be able to keep on going. Obviously a little bit of tire wear out of that, but he should be okay, and we'll be at the back of the field after that spin. See, the tires just didn't really hook up for him there. When you're on those rumble strips, that rear starts to chatter a little, and that's likely what led to that spin, as it just upsets the back of that race car. But it's the shortest way around the racetrack, so you'll see guys trying to get as low as they can all night long and get away to find a little grip down there. These guys are still pacing here. Should be 2 to green that time by. Next time around, the lights on the pace car will turn off. We take a look inside the 10 car here of Cameron Liddell. He's currently in the 5th position, which is a good start for him. He started P6, he's up a spot, so he's moving forward. He wants to keep that momentum rolling all night long. Take 1 to green here. Lights on the pace car will turn off. We'll double it up. We have Chase Pierce and Travis Kremberg in our front row. We'll see if we can get a good start out of the front row this time. Chase Pierce will be looking for a better start than last time, as he almost left himself vulnerable getting through the gears on the restart. Pace car's pulled off. Kremberg falling a little bit back of Pierce through the corner, but through the restart zone. Great launch by Pierce. This time he gets completely clear of Kremberg, but Kremberg gets clear down in the first second. Smith working the outside of Gallman behind them. They both push up. That'll allow Kremberg and Pierce to slip away as Smith will clear for 3rd. And we do have another crash in the back. There is no yellow though. We're going to stay green here, as they did just take the white flag. Coming around this time, it's Pierce and Kremberg. Coming in the final corner, does Travis have anything to get to the back bumper of Chase Pierce? He does not. Chase Pierce will win the heat here this evening, and he will start where he started this race, on the pole for tonight's feature event. As everybody else finishes this race, and they'll all pull off, get these cars reset, get some fresh tires put on them, and any damage repairs as we move into tonight's main event feature. Or as we move into tonight's B main, I apologize. Looks like we'll have 6 starters for tonight's B main here. And tonight's B main, where each driver will advance. Leading them off is Carson Sherman in the 9, and Everett Larson will start 2nd. Starting third is Billy Snodgrass. We saw him up front early, and he's going to be looking to try to win this feature as Aiden Weaver starts fourth. And in the final row, Lucas Hayes and Evan Johnson will start fifth and sixth. And then Camelette and AJ Nichols are seventh and eighth, and Sean Hillquicks is ninth. These drivers here will have 25 laps to set their starting positions for tonight's main event, as the top 6 from the first race are the ones that locked themselves into the feature. Our drivers are all gridded, and our pace car begins to roll off here. Yeah, these 25 laps here can be a bit of an advantage for these guys. Obviously going to have to start a little bit deeper down in the field, but they're going to get 25 more race laps here to really figure out what their cars are doing best and maybe find a little speed that they weren't quite able to push through with in the first race. So trying to bring some of that experience into the feature and maybe make a charge from one of those lower starting positions. So we'll take one to green here. Our pace car is off, and Carson Sherman leads us to green. He gets a great launch fair on the bottom, but here comes Billy Snodgrass to the inside, almost looking 3 wide there. Couldn't quite get his nose there, but he'll clear the 07 of Larson and move in the second right off the grip here. Behind them, we'll see Weaver trying to work the... Oh, we have one around in the back. That'll be a caution. I do think that is Everett Larson who had that issue there. Does not look like he hit anything, though. The driver did a great job getting that car locked down and keeping it out of the outside wall. He'll be able to continue on in this race. So we'll take a look here at our 92-22 Designs replay. See, very high and wide here, just trying to mind his business. Got a little bit sideways there off of 2, but nothing too bad. And down here in 3 and 4. Oh, he got big help there from the 15, but the 07 did a great job there locking that down. That could have been really bad. He just kept that out of the outside wall, but the 15 of Lucas Hayes just got in there a little bit too deep and washed all the way up there and knocked Everett Larson around. If you take a look back live here at the front of our field, driver still weaving, keeping some heat in those tires. We look on board with Billy Snodgrass here, really working those tires in down the back straightaway here. He'll be rolling P2 on this upcoming restart. Pace car's lights will turn off here. We'll get the 1 to green signal. Still really working those tires down the back stretch. You can see how hard he works that wheel back and forth. Very important to get those tires clean and keep a lot of heat in them here. We'll get looking here as the pace car pulls down. They're going to get into the restart zone. They're already going here. Carson Sherman with a big launch clears Billy Snodgrass, who files in second on the inside line. Gets right down the inside wall, but he does a great job wrapping that wall. Still looking in behind there as the 101 of Aiden Weaver moves into the third position, making a move on Evan Johnson in the 66. Billy Snodgrass right to the back bumper of Carson Sherman. These two have checked out on the rest of the field. We take a look back here. Evan Johnson working on the inside of Weaver. Weaver way up and out of the line, falls back to 5th as Larson, after that spin, already back up to 4th. What an impressive restart for him. Larson still working that bottom line, making some progress here, trying to get to the back bumper of the 66 of Johnson. See him getting a little bit loose on the exit of these corners as he works that very inside line, and got a bit of the wall there. He should be okay though. Didn't look to be too hard of a hit. As you see on his onboard here, still working that wheel on exit, just a little bit of counter steer as he gets a little bit loose on entry, even there too under braking, but he's doing a good job keeping it smooth and straight and not making any mistakes as he's settled into the 4th position. Still not much progress up front as Billy Snodgrass did just run the fastest lap of this race, still looking off the back bumper of Carson Sherman. Gonna run a bit higher of a line here, looking to find a way around. Sherman gets a little bit loose. It's gonna give Snodgrass a round down the front straightaway. He's 2V inside. Does a great job keeping it in there. Oh, Sherman's loose. They make contact down the back straightaway. Billy did a great job getting just down the track there. Gave him enough room to save it, and that gives Billy Snodgrass the lead as he's gonna look to drive away as we take 13 to go here. Or 14 to go. Oh yeah, sorry, 13 to go as here in the consolation race. You see Billy just settling into the lead here, running a nice smooth line. Evan Johnson's caught these guys quite a bit after that incident that they had there. Cost both of these drivers a little bit of time, let Evan reel these two in. That 66 works a bit higher of a line than the 9 in front of him. So we take a look from on board his machine here. See, he doesn't get quite fully on that apron, but it gives him a nice straight exit that he's really carrying well. He's to the back bumper of Sherman now. Oh, he makes contact with the 9 and shot him up the racetrack. The 9's going to hold on to it. Bit of a shunt there from the 66, but that moves him into P2. He's going to look to chase down the 99 of Snodgrass. And Billy puts the 7 of Millette a lap down. And Camelot doing a good job there, just getting down the bottom, staying out of the leader's way. Evan Johnson looking for a little more pace here to chase down Billy Snodgrass. They take 8 to go that time. Not much progress being made into that lead. Billy Snodgrass, oh, 66 out in there, very hot, locked up the brakes. It's going to give Sherman a run back at his inside now. And the 9 is clear back into second. Oh, but he gets loose on his own. The 66 crosses him right over. That'll put Evan Johnson back into P2. And look who that brought into the picture. AJ Nichols in 4th has a chance at 2nd here as we take 6 to go in this B main. And Billy Snodgrass right now is running fastest lap after fastest lap, and he is just driving away from this field. We do have a caution in the back of the field. It looks like Aiden Weaver went around. We hear a driver of that machine saying that someone turned across his nose, so we'll take a look at that here. He was down on the inside of that corner, gets a bit of a run on the 15 there in front of him. And I don't know, he just kind of drove into the back of him and spun there. I don't really know if Lucas Hayes could have done too much there, but nevertheless, Aiden Weaver spins and does end up, I believe he may have stayed on the lead lap here when he got his car back rolling, so that's fortunate for him, but just kind of got into the back of the 15 and got loose, and it went around for a little bit of a ride, but he got that thing going back quickly and doesn't look too much worse for wear. Should get a restart here within regulation. I believe it will be 3, or no, it does look like we'll have a green-white checkered here as we already are under 3 to go. So should get 1 to green this time, and we will have a green-white checkered finish to this B main. Billy Snodgrass going to have to hold off the field on a restart after building a really big lead. Did he use up too much of those tires pulling away while some of the cars behind him may be in a little bit better shape here to make a run at him on this 2-lap shootout? We see Billy working those tires in again here. Just doing what he can to try to get some heat into those tires. We took the 1 to green there that time. They're doubled up here. It'll be Snodgrass leading Johnson, Sherman, and Nichols in our first 2 rows on this restart. So we come back around here for green flag with 2 to go. Pace car is in. Snodgrass with a nice late launch fair gets himself a big gap as Johnson's going to have to fight Sherman to his inside. Sherman launches it into turn 1 and will clear with 66. That creates a hole for Larson, who's up to 3rd. Snodgrass gaps it up there in front ahead of Sherman. Doesn't look like he can be touched here as Larson gets clear in the 3rd. Sherman, though, with a great corner for 3 and 4, he could have a shot if he has a corner as good in 1 and 2. Snodgrass pulls that gap out just ever so slightly there. Up front, nobody's going to have anything for him here. Billy Snodgrass is going to win the B-Main. He'll start 7th in tonight's feature as Sherman holds off Larson behind for 2nd. An impressive drive there by Billy Snodgrass to recover after being wrecked early in the initial heat this evening and gets himself a B-Main victory to start as good as possible for tonight's main. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with this evening's feature event.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got my pickup truck washed on Sunday morning, headed down roads where memories were born. Small town whispers through the maple trees while that old church bell rings out sweet and free. Living that simple kind of life where stars shine brighter every night. Don't need much to feel alright, just some friends and a Friday night. Oh, just some friends and a Friday night. Main Street hasn't changed in 20 years. Same old diner serving up cold beers. Betty Lou still works the register, knows everybody's order, that's for sure.
We are back here at the Los Angeles Coliseum for tonight's Race for a Ride, presented by Freight Racing and Speed U, the online institution for youth racers. We have some trivia this evening as we are giving away a $24 gift card to SimRap Markets. Tonight's question is, what is the highest number of cars that have ever started a race in NASCAR's history? First person to answer that question correctly in tonight's chat will win a $24 gift card to the SimRap Markets website. As these drivers continue to warm up here, they're getting ready for the action in just a few moments. They'll have 40 laps as they'll be looking to move forward in this event with some more points as the season wounds up. Do want to talk a little bit more about our partner tonight, Speed U. Speed U is a school designed for youth racers across the country with busy travel schedules. They can learn on their own time as an accredited school with accelerated classes and academic advisors as well. They have many field trips, social events, and other special events as well for our students. It is the perfect school for those youth racers that are on the road throughout much of the school year that do not fit the norms of a traditional school. And it does look like we have a correct answer in the chat for tonight's trivia. And it is Morris038 who got the answer correct. It was 82 starters in the 1951 Southern 500. So congratulations to you for the $24 gift card to SimRep Market. As this warm-up here will wind down here the last few seconds, and we'll get ready to grid tonight's 15 starters for the main event. There's our pace car joining us on the grid. We'll take a look through tonight's starting order for the main event this evening. Chase Pierce leads off on the pole after winning the heat, joined by Travis Kremborg, who drove through the field to finish second. Our third place starter this evening is Axel Smith in the 97, joined by the 10 of Cameron Liddell. Rounding out the top 5 is Chandler Gallman in the 81, and our last advance from the first heat race of the evening, Aiden Slightenham. The winner of tonight's B main, Billy Snodgrass, will lead off or run off in the 7th position, joined by Carson Sherman in P8. P9 this evening will be Everett Larson in the 07, who went for a bit of a spin in the B main but recovered for a good finish, joined by AJ Nichols in 10th. Our 11th place starter this evening is Evan Johnson in the 66, and joining him is Aiden Weaver in the 101. The 13th position is occupied by Lucas Hayes in the 15th, joined by Cam Millett on his outside in 14th. And our final starter this evening, the 48 of Sean Helgwicks, will round out our 15 starters. As the pace car is rolling, we have 2 pace laps before we will be underway here in the race for a ride at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Round 6 this evening. 2 more rounds to remain after this evening's affair before they begin the playoffs and the quest to win that elusive ride at Atlanta Motor Speedway next season. See, just as we've seen all evening, drivers weaving back and forth, warming up their tires here. A bit longer of a race, 40 laps in the feature tonight. We'll have to take care of these tires. They won't have the same pace that we've seen through these races most of the evening. That's going to put a lot more rubber into the racetrack, wear these tires out quite a bit more. We'll have 3 green, white, checkered attempts again in tonight's feature. Once again, no fast repairs. And the fixed iRacing setup for these drivers. As the pace car is off, and Chase Pierce will lead us to the green flag here at the Coliseum, but Travis Kremborg with a huge launch to the outside is clear to the lead into turn 1 on the initial start. We'll have to see if that start will uphold for Kremborg. It does look like he did go after the green flag, and there has not been a black flag issued to this point. Those 2 are clear up front, and Axel Smith follows through to clear for 3rd. Side by side for the 4th position now. We see Gallman working on the inside of Liddell. And Gallman will get tight to the back bumper in 97 there, as we'll see 3 wide there, and we have a caution off in the background. That is the 101 of Aiden Weaver. Does not seem to be too much damage to his machine. We'll take a look at our 92-22 designs replay. See the 101 down here into the corner. Off the back of this pack in front of him here. Oh, it actually looks like they wrecked in front of him and he couldn't get wound up in time and went around. It looks like the 07 was the car that went around to start that incident. And that is Larson in the 07 there. Everett Larson. We'll see what happened to send him around. He got a bit of help there from the 9 of Carson Sherman. And a few more stacked in there. It looks like mostly everybody is okay from that one. But most drivers that are involved do not seem to be too happy with one another about what happened there. These drivers now still weaving under his caution, trying to keep that heat in those tires. These yellows are a big deal in such a short race like this. The caution laps do count here this evening, so each caution is roughly 3 to 4 laps left or less that these drivers have an attempt to go race for that position. So you have an issue early here. It's not a lot of time to go make those spots back up. Very important to run a clean race. We see Travis Kremborg will restart on the inside of the front row here after taking the lead on the initial start of this main event. The lights on our pace car are off. Chase Pierce lined up to his outside. Axel Smith, Chandler Gallman, Cameron Ladeau round out our top 5. 99 of Billy Snodgrass will restart 6th. We saw him almost free wide trying to make up some spots right before that yellow stopped his charge there. Our pace car is off. And Kremborg launches first. He'll get a big launch there as he clears Pierce before they get down into turn 1. Axel Smith to the inside of the 17 as well. Smith still working the inside of Chase Pierce here into turn 3. Gets just barely clear off of turn 4. He'll move into the second position as they're 3 wide behind them. And that's not going to work. Major contact between multiple drivers there. That sends Snodgrass backwards. That sends Ladeau backwards. And we have a caution here down the back. Oh! Travis Kremborg almost hit a wrecked race car from the lead of the race under caution. They were trying to get going and they were blocking the entire track. That could have been disastrous for our race leader. We'll take a look at our 92-22 Designs replay here. See the 15 gets down in there. Self spins on the bottom. And I think just kind of on his own there, but it did end up collecting someone else at some point. It'd be interesting to see how that occurred. You see he's just running really hard on the outside of everybody here. Oh, he wall rode a corner. I don't believe that's allowed, so I don't know what happened there, as we saw a spin to the bottom of him as well before he spun there. And then trying to get back going there. Yeah, it does sound like the 15 did receive a penalty here for wall riding there. That is not allowed, so that driver was caught doing that there. So we'll take a look back here at the live action. You see the 15 drop into the back of the field, receiving that penalty for wall riding. But up front, the pace car lights are out. Travis Kremborg on the inside has the lead still over Axel Smith and Chase Pierce in third. Our pace car is going to pull off here down in 3 and 4, and Kremborg will look for another great launch here like he had on the previous restart. Green flag's back in the air. Travis Kremborg with another great launch from that inside line, but Smith gets clear of Pierce behind him, which is probably great for the rear view mirror of that 5 car as he'll try to scoot away. See Pierce looking at the back of Axel Smith, can't really find a way through there. Slide him in 4th. 99 of Snodgrass looking for a way through on AJ Nichols with the inside move. He'll move into P5. Little bit of a check up there on the bottom. These drivers do a good job avoiding any further. Oh, we have major contact with the outside wall. Snodgrass got a little bit of air there down the front straightaway, as they're all going to file back in 2 by 2. Everybody's still finding their pace here. And speaking of pace, Chase Pierce just ran the fastest lap of the race in that 3rd position. He'll be looking for a way around Axel Smith. But knocking that down, Travis Kremborg just runs his fastest lap of the evening, as they're looking almost 2 wide, 3 wide back here, looking for any little bit of space they can to make up some positions as we look at Carson Sherman working on the back of Gallman in the 81. Chandler Gallman does a good job holding his ground here, gets a good run off that corner as we see Snodgrass holding off Ladeau in the 10. We do have another caution further back in the field here, and that is Everett Larson in the 07. I don't believe he went fully around there, but it looked like the car just came to a stop, and that did lead to the caution coming out. As we'll take a look at our 92-22 designs replay. See, the 07 looks like he might have gotten some help here, possibly. Actually, it looks like it happens down in the next corner. Yes, and he did get some help, and yeah, he didn't go fully around, but he just got knocked sideways enough and came to a stop that it brought out the caution. The 66 of Evan Johnson there just got into the back of him. Nothing Larson could do about that one. See, he almost had contact down on this end. Johnson got loose, fell back in behind. Larson came down into this corner and just gave a shot to the 07 in the back bumper. Got a big hit on the left front of the 07 there too. That might have done more damage to that machine. As we look back live here at the 66 and 07 in the rear of the field after that incident. Meanwhile, up front, it is still Travis Kremborg leading Axel Smith and Chase Pierce in our top three. AJ Nichols will be fourth and Aiden Slidham up to fifth for the upcoming restart. Nichols started this event in 10th, and he's up to the 4th position, so it's been a great main feature for him so far, as we have just passed the halfway mark in this event. Biggest mover up 6th position, AJ Nichols. He could be a threat to watch for here. As the pace car's lights will go out, we have one to green. These drivers still working those tires in, trying to make sure they're clean and hot for these upcoming restarts, as that's where all the speed will be found. Kremborg still weaving as we move down here into turn 3. The pace car will pull down into the infield. Green flag is in the air. Another big launch for Kremborg. Axel Smith trying to clear Chase Pierce in behind him again. The slide in the second, and he does so successfully. Nichols a little bit up wide on the restart bell. He'll lose some of the ground that he's made up as Slidham moves into 4th, and Snodgrass will look for 5th. Put Billy Snodgrass up into the 5th position as he looks to the inside of Slidham for P4 now. Can't quite finish the move there as the 42 still fighting hard on the outside. They're going to hit. That sends the 42 into the outside wall. They'll stay green though. Billy Snodgrass to P4, and that sends the 42 of Aiden Slidham to the rear of this field, falling possibly outside of the top 10. Almost looks like he will hold on the 10th position here as we look on with Ladeau and Gallman side by side for the 6th position. They are followed by Carson Sherman in the 9 car. Those two touch, knocked up the racetrack. Sherman looking for a way to the inside. Can't quite get there. You see a lot of tire smoke under braking, working those brakes really hard in the 9 car, trying to get around this track as quickly as he can. Once again, locking up that left front. It's a really hard thing to do as a driver once you start locking up those tires, to stop locking up those tires. You see he does it again. He's actually going to get up into the 81 because of it. That's going to keep them green. Didn't go fully around. They're going to single file out back here as we're going to be taking 12 to go up front this time by. Travis Kremborg holding off Axel Smith by a slim margin. Snodgrass got past Pierce for 3rd. He's up to the 3rd position. He's run the fastest lap of the race. He won the B feature, and I think he's looking for more. See Kremborg still just minding his time here, taking care of his equipment, running the most efficient laps that he can. A little bit loose there off of the corner, but nothing too much. Stretching out that gap over Axel Smith little by little. So we look off the back of the 5 here of Kremborg. You can see that gap slowly growing to the 97, but the gap behind the 97 is slowly closing as Snodgrass moves in for that 2nd position. See a bit of a 5-car breakaway here as we look at Snodgrass, Pierce, and Nichols in the 5th position. Those top 5 cars basically in the shot on their own. Ladeau back in 6th, not close enough to mount a charge here late. Snodgrass trying to get closer to the back bumper here of Axel Smith. We see the lap times that time by Billy Snodgrass, fastest car on the racetrack, fastest car of the session. A new fastest lap once again by Billy Snodgrass. Late in this race, as the tires wear, that car keeps getting faster. We see a slow car on the bottom. He stays out of the way of our leaders. Going to force Snodgrass to run the high line, though, here through 1 and 2. But he went fastest again that previous lap. He's catching Smith quickly. 5 to go this time for the 5 cars. His lead grows to nearly a second. Snodgrass is there. He's gotten to the back bumper of Axel Smith. He is the fastest car on the racetrack. He needs to make quick work of this pass to have a chance to chase down the 5s. They take 4 to go this time. Doesn't quite have the grip there. Gets loose on exit. Gonna dive to the inside here in turn 1. He got there. No contact made cleanly alongside the 97. Oh, the 97 comes down on him and they're gonna crash. They are stuck on each other. That is gonna ruin both of their evenings, and that will set us up for a green-white checkered finish. Heartbreak for the 99 of Snodgrass as he was looking to put on a charge to the front of this field. And we'll take a look at our 92-22 Designs replay. I mean, not much he could have done there. The 97 of Axel Smith just turned down on him on the straightaway. Not quite sure if he thought he might be able to get clear of that driver before the next turn. But that does send them to the rear. You see Snodgrass here got to his inside cleanly, did a great job all the way against the inside wall, and the 97 just turned down on him. Very unfortunate for Billy Snodgrass. The worst thing there for Snodgrass is he couldn't get out of them, just kept losing positions because their cars were stuck to each other there. The front bumpers kind of hooked on to one another, but up front, Travis Kremborg is going to have to hold off Chase Pierce for 2 laps. AJ Nichols up to P3. This caution also puts Cameron Ladeau to the second row. He'll roll off in P4. The pace car lights are still on this time, so we are not getting green yet. These drivers working their tires in, trying to make sure they're fully prepped for the last 2 laps of this race, potentially, barring another caution. It'll be our first of our 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. The 1 to go signal was given to the field that time by, right now as a driver, Travis Kremborg. You had this race won if it went green. Now you have to hold off the points leader of Chase Pierce on a green-white checkered. Have to be nervous behind the wheel of that 5, but you also need to keep yourself in check. Don't make a mistake. Don't beat yourself. Make him earn it. Pace car is going to pull off here out of turn 4. Green flag back in the air. Kremborg with a big launch, but Pierce right in behind him, clear to second. Pierce all over the back bumper of that 5. Had a great 1 and 2 after a great launch to stay with the 5. Down in the 3 and 4. Kremborg a little lower than the 17 behind him. Pierce to the back bumper. White flag in the air this time by. This will be the last lap. Pierce looking to the outside. Contact with Kremborg will send him up the racetrack. That might just be all Travis needs. Travis Kremborg down into turn 3 for the final time. Drove it in deep. Nobody's going to get to him. Travis Kremborg wins at the Los Angeles Coliseum. An impressive drive by that young man in the 5 car. Did everything right on that final restart to hold on to that lead. Had a big lead when that caution happened. Could have taken it away from him, but he didn't let that happen, and he came home with a victory that he earned out here tonight. So he'll come down to the front straightaway, and he's going to give the fans a nice celebration here and burn the house down in the 5. Travis Kremborg victorious in Los Angeles. See the excitement out of that young driver as he does burn outside on the front straightaway here. Pulls that car down towards 1 and 2, gets a turn back around to come park it on the start-finish line. What a drive tonight by Travis Kremborg. We'll take a quick break here on Ballin Productions, and we'll be back with more coverage of tonight's Race for a Ride broadcast. We are back here at the Los Angeles Coliseum where we just saw a great event this evening in round 6 of the Race for a Ride presented by Speed U and Freight Racing. Taking a look at tonight's results, Travis Kremborg out in New York got it done. He got the lead and never looked back, holding off a late charge from Chase Pierce and AJ Nichols behind him. Cameron Ladeau came home in 4th tonight, followed by Aiden Slightum recovering for a P5 in the 42. The 81 of Chandler Gallman came home in 6th, followed by Carson Sherman and Everett Larson. Cam Millett and Axel Smith rounded out our top 10. Our 11th place finisher tonight, Aiden Weaver, was followed by Billy Snodgrass, a car that looked like he could have won, caught up in an incident late, came home P12, Lucas Hayes in 13th, Evan Johnson in 14th, and Sean Hilquix in 15th did not turn a lap this evening. So now we'll be speaking with tonight's winner, Travis Kremborg. Travis, you did a great job on those late race restarts, holding off for the win. What got it done for you out there on the track tonight?
Just keeping my composure, really. That final green-white checkered, obviously with the points leader and arguably one of the fastest guys out here. Your nerves are probably going to be up there, but I just tried my best to keep them under control and do what I do best. It's just stay consistent, keep the car in one piece, and get a solid finish every week. And this week, stars aligned, and we got it done.
We saw you not necessarily the fastest in qualifying this evening, but worked your way through the field in the heat very quickly to come home P2 and then worked your way to the lead fairly quickly into main tonight. What was the main difference for you in that race pace this year tonight compared to what you showed in qualifying?
So this whole series, every single race, every week, I haven't done that well in qualifying. I feel like I just choke under pressure when it comes to that, but I just try and do my best throughout the heat, make up spots there where it really counts, where you have to show off your race pace, and then really just pace myself during the actual race and pick off people as they go.
Well, you certainly did not choke under pressure on the final restart. Who all gets it done for you in the 5 car?
So I got to thank my parents for allowing me to be on the computer as much as I can, or as much as I am. I got to thank you guys for broadcasting this and putting on a show for everyone watching at home. And I also got to thank Freight Racing and Speed U for also putting it all together, as well as Alex Coffey.
Well, thank you very much, Travis, and we look forward to seeing you continue your quest to win the Race for a Ride.
Yeah, thank you.
Moving on this evening to our second place finisher, Chase Pierce, 1 spot short tonight. We saw a late charge in that final restart. What more did you need to get the 5 car for tonight's victory?
I don't know. Just I don't know. I've had some. I'm not even running on my rig tonight. I'm running on my buddies, and his stuff's it's slightly different than mine. Maybe if I was in something I was more used to, maybe that could have done it. I don't know. That last restart, I started really good, got clear at the bottom in front of AJ behind Travis, and was right there on his bumper, and he was doing a good job protecting the bottom. I was going to set him up for a crossover there out in 1 and 2 on the last lap, and I came down, it kind of locked our bumper bars together and shot me out. But if we didn't lock bumpers, that crossover might have worked. It might have, and we might be sitting in victory lane tonight. But I'm pretty sure only lost 5 to Travis, and he was second. So I believe we still keep the points lead, but we'll be tied going into the next race. I believe probably Charlotte, I'd imagine. So good points tonight. Just trying to keep the good points finishes so we can move on to round 2 here in a few more races.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that points battle, what is your biggest goal moving into the next 2 races before we move into the final 4 races of the season to keep that points lead and set yourself up for success over the final 4 weeks of the season?
Well, being the points leader, it gives us a gap, so right now with this points lead we have, I don't know how big it is after tonight. I know me and Travis will be tied, but everybody else, I'm not sure how it'll look. But I believe if we get a good finish next week, we may be locked in to the top 7 in points to move on. I'm not too sure on how that would shape out. I'd have to see the points, but so pretty much just going into next week, get a good finish, win if we can. If not, just maintain this this good pattern of solid finishes. You know, I ain't finished outside the top 4 yet, so that's really helped. You know, we've fell back early on in these races, but we've always we've even if we felt falling back, we've been able to make our way back up to the front, at least to a top 4 finish every week. So you know, that's pretty good. And every week, every good points finish we get, it's one step closer to the dream. You know, going out there to Atlanta in February and driving a real legend car. You know, so.
Well, absolutely, and it's been a show of consistency for you. Who helps you stay at consistent and get it all done for the 17 car?
Well, tonight I got to thank Dylan Eller. Let me, you know, I was having technical difficulties with my rig, so I gave him a call about 4:50 today and hauled the mail over here. Was able to hop in and run tonight, you know, but also my parents, Top Hat Comics, Stick Shifter Sim Racing, Cottle Chassis, Red's Donut Shop, Shell Bell Bonds, Don and D Stone, Tedder Farm Equipment, Bark Buddies, Billy Greg's Old Lexington Front End Frame Shop, Velosta, K Cars Race Cars, Mark Keem Performance, everybody, Alex Coffey, Tyler Payne, and everybody who puts this whole series on for us and giving us the opportunity to run for something huge next year at Atlanta, and you guys for the broadcast, of course, and iRacing for the great sim.
Well, thank you so much for putting on a show every week. We look forward to seeing you continue your quest to win the race for a ride.
All right, thank y'all.
And moving on to tonight's third place finisher, the 33 of AJ Nichols. AJ, we saw you from 10th move all the way up to finish P3 in tonight's feature. What really helped you make up all that track position and get through the field in what was a very tough and close field this evening?
Yeah, I was really just keeping my car clean. I didn't have a single incident point the whole night. I came from dead last in the B main to third. It was just having to keep my car clean.
Well, you did a great job at that for sure. What more did you need out of the 33 here to get 2 positions better and maybe come home with your first win of the season?
Yeah, I think I just need I need to study chasing Travis and all them. I need to study their lines. I don't know what the heck they're doing different than me, but they're fast and on a roll. So I just got to keep on watching them.
Well, you did a great job getting up there and putting yourself in position for a good finish tonight. Who gets it all done for the 33 car?
Yeah, well, obviously I got the Kinetic car out there tonight. I have a couple paint schemes lined up, but Kinetic, Culver's of Grovetown, and we got Interstate Equipment Company, Send It Media, and that's pretty much it for tonight.
Well, you did a great job this evening. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and Monaco Zero Designs. He came up with the paint scheme. He makes most of my paint schemes if I don't make them.
All right, well, you did a great job this evening. You showed that you are definitely moving more towards contending on a weekly basis. We look forward to seeing you next week, or in 2 weeks, sorry.
Yes, thank you.
And that is it for our top 3 finishers this evening here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Our next broadcast will be at the Charlotte Legends Oval on June 15th. We'll be back at the same time, 5:15 p.m. Eastern, presented by Freight Racing and Racer, or Speed U, sorry. Next, in 2 weeks, that'll be June 15th at Charlotte Legends Oval. That was a wonderful racing this evening here at the LA Coliseum. We saw Travis Krenborg come home with an impressive victory over Chase Pierce. He did a great job holding off on the late restarts, and we'll definitely look forward for more great racing at Charlotte in 2 weeks. From your host, Jeremy Miller, and DJ Line behind the buttons, this has been The Race for a Ride and another Ballin production. Thank you for watching.
Drop it.